Let's see. We got this thing going. All right. And we're going to move you here. And then we're going to move you here. See if anybody pops on here. So it's good with everyone. On this Tuesday. See what's going on here. All right. Hope everyone had a good weekend. A lot of stuff going on. May the 4th, Cinco de Mayo. Got Mother's Day this weekend. It's come up weekend. So summer is around the corner. Back to school season. All right. What's up, Oscar? What's up, guys? Had a lot of bad weather here, so been trying to work around the rain. Shoot me any questions you want. Got some time to do this live, so figured trash that. Well, I'm doing a little product research here. Should we be returning the Youngate items back? I would not recommend that. You can do what you want though. Just it's not a good look overall, especially when you're returning a lot of stuff. It's not a good look for you if you want to be legitimate, and it actually puts a bad taste in some retailers' mouth. Um, so wouldn't recommend it. There's a lot of other platforms you can sell stuff. I mean, if it's selling on Amazon, you can sell it on other platforms. I just wouldn't return. And I hate seeing stuff like that because it's just people want to impress others. They got all these ungates, and then even dumber, they go and post that they're returning the stuff. So but your business is your business, so I think resellers are the one group of entrepreneurs, I mean, use that term a little bit loosely, but um, are the one group that likes to flex business results. I don't see any, outside of major corporations. I don't see any small businesses. Like, I don't see the local pizza chain flexing their sales numbers and all that. But So back to school season is going to be here. I've already started looking at some stuff for it myself. Um, Graduation season is about to be here. A lot of money to be made for graduation gifts, graduation items, in the arbitrage sense. So, um, no matter what your model is, arbitrage, wholesale, private label, whatever it is, flea markets, thrift stores, there's opportunities everywhere. Am I FBMing? Yeah, back to school season's coming up. I mean, I do FBM stuff now. I actually have been doing more FBM this part of the year than I normally do, but back to school, I'll probably do it a little bit. Backpacks are very popular items with the whole Nike stuff going on. I didn't do any Nike backpacks last year at all. I did a bunch of other brands, and they were really good to me. I might check out some Nike stuff this year. The thing that last year that was really deterred me is one, a large surge of some larger groups were really pushing back to school, and I don't think anybody made any money because of the retail prices, even if they're using loops or coupons or catch-all emails, whatever. The retail prices were too high for me for Nike for some of that stuff. I mean, yeah, granted, great if you make a dollar, $2 on that, but I can spend my money better elsewhere. So we'll see how it goes this summer, though. We jump back into a little bit Nike, but there's a lot of other brands where the prices and the retail prices and the sales prices on Amazon have stayed pretty consistent the last few years. That's the nice thing about getting your own data is you can make those decisions. There's one thing that last year we sold a ton of in June, and I made a little note check back on this next year, and I will always go back the previous year or 2 year on my spreadsheets and just look at in those months what were the good ASINs and can we still get them. And a lot of people tend to forget about good opportunities. It's always moving on, moving on, moving on to the next one. So see what's up, YouTube, showing you some love. Throw any questions you want. Happy to try and help if I can. uh, This weekend I was doing a yard project. Well, for like the last week, I've been doing a yard project, but we've had so much rain, I've had to work around it. It was digging a trench, and so it was like every other day, every 2 days, I'd be able to go back and do a little bit more because it was all that rain was turning it into mud. But I got that finished, and I actually was able to review. Um, I was able to do some video reviews for several of the tools and parts that I use, and I've already made some money back on that. So that's gonna be nice. It'll over time those end up paying for themselves, or those things will end up paying for that project, which is kind of cool. So um, what's up, everyone? Happy Monday. Hope everyone's doing well. Curious if anybody's doing the influencer program that hasn't joined the group, or bought some education materials. I think um, it's one of those things that's probably just going to heat up for the moment, with people showing and sharing information how to get involved, but it'll probably die down. That's you know, there's only so much you can do with some of those things, some of the tactics. I mean, there are little variants, but feel like that'll die down here at some point soon. It's just a very small category of things that you can teach others. Some of the stuff is very helpful, um, but I think that some of it will die down for sure. Just gonna keep going here. Throw any questions you want. I'm just doing some sourcing, looking up some things, and see. How's my private label going? It's going well. Um, it's doing well. Waiting on an inspection in China to get finished right now. Last week was a holiday week in China, so not many people were working. Um, otherwise, good. We have 4 products, and be nice to launch 1 or 2 more by the end of the year. We'll see. If not this year, for sure next year after we get through Q4. What company do you use for an inspection? I use a private company. So just it was a recommendation from a friend, and so I've used them for 3 years now. It's actually an individual, um, not a large company, so um, they do a great job. In fact, they also have negotiated some shipping prices for me, which um, have been pretty good actually, comparatively to some of the larger freight forwarders, or even what suppliers are able to quote you if you're using like what's called DDP shipping, which is where the supplier manufacturer basically ships wherever you want. It's a little bit higher price because they're doing all the legwork, but you can occasionally get pretty good quotes. I mean, depends on what the product is, the size of it, the weight of it, all that. See what's up. What's everyone doing? I've been using Helium 10 more and more, diving into some more of the features and tools. I've also been using some PPC tools. I've been using one called Scale Insights. If you're just doing arbitrage, you don't really need any software for PPC. You can just set up a very basic catch-all campaign. But if you're doing a little bit of wholesale, private label for sure, um, PPC management is something that it's always needing attention. So I've been messing around with Scale Insights, learning that it's a large learning curve, though I will say that it's not a easy software to grasp from day one. Yep, as long as they do a great job for sure. And this person does a great job with their inspections. They're very thorough, um, almost to the point of like they're giving you they're too thorough. Like, bro, no one is going to break it in this way. I mean, you never know, but they do a great job. All right. Appreciate the questions. Appreciate you joining. I'm just going to keep streaming while I do some sourcing here. Um, I actually ordered a couple products off of Amazon. I wanted to see what they were like. They looked the same. One had pretty bad reviews, one had decent reviews. And from the pictures, they looked almost identical. It's almost like they used the same pictures, but I got them today, and you can definitely tell the reason the one has the bad reviews is just the material is thinner, the components are smaller. It's something that requires assembly, and so um, the person who had the product with the worst reviews, I mean, there's a reason why it's not doing well, and it's probably going to phase out here very soon once they run out of stock. You just didn't do your homework on the front side. No, they're not my competitors. It's not even in a niche I sell in or a category I sell in. Actually, it's just something I've kind of looked at from a distance for a little while. It's a really unrelated category, but I finally just said, let me just order some samples and see what they look like on Amazon just to see if there's anything I can do with the product. Have a couple ideas, but it's a very basic product. So the one that I got that actually has the decent reviews, though, you can see it. It is a quality product. There's a few small things that you could adjust here and there, though, but those are going to be more aesthetic, and that's one way to set yourself apart. It's just different aesthetics when you're doing private label. It's one of the things to look at. Obviously, it's more subjective for some of the things. So if you're selling like a set of towels, and you want to sell red towels, well, not everyone's a fan of red. So sometimes the aesthetic is more subjective, but also for a product like this, you can make the aesthetic not just a color thing. So different ways to get end results. It's very important to do your work on the fronts. I mean, it's like same with anything else. If you're selling on Amazon, it's like you know the smart move would be at least look at a keep a chart before you purchase a product. So with private label, they're a little bit more nuanced, but you're really just looking at data at the end of the day to make it a good decision. Reviews is one of those points of data. So let's see, check on YouTube. I'm going live right now simultaneously, so I gotta keep going back and forth. Check these comments. Yeah, I've been doing private label for 3 years. 2021. Yeah, 3 years when we launched our first one, and that first product is still selling well. So something worked with it. Let's see, check the data on this. What's up, everyone? Glad you could jump in. I'm live streaming from my computer, so it doesn't allow me to wave at anybody, um, like when you're streaming on mobile. Let's see. West. Just compare a couple things here. Hmm. Anybody else want to jump in with some questions? Feel free. I am just product researching away. Let's see what this is. Don't. Nope, don't know where that's at. Anybody else in the influencer program? How much have I spent? $0. I'm just doing some product research, so this is actually for private label. $0 spent so far. I'd actually like to show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Um, I don't know where I put it. I was going to show you some examples of some packaging um, when it comes to considering for products. There's a lot of different things you can do from polybag to a frosted polybag, which stands out a little bit more, makes it pop, but still very relatively cheap. From a basic brown box that's essentially just a shipping box with your logo stamped on it to a multicolor full wrap box. Um, Little things to think about and consider when you're looking at packaging can make two of the same products give a completely different perception to a customer based on just how the packaging is. Um, I wanted to save one. I don't know where I saw, it, but something I've seen recently on some of the packaging that's that I've either ordered or seen is if they're made in China or made overseas, and they're a U.S. based seller, they're starting to people are starting to put like designed in. Like I saw one, I don't know where it's at. Anyways, it was like designed in Nevada, but made in China, and it's one little way you can you know show people that you're not a Chinese seller. Some people just have the association of cheap, flimsy, low quality with Chinese products, but you can get really well made products overseas. And so while your product has to have made in China or made in whatever other country it was made in, you can also differentiate yourself just by putting like designed in whatever your state is, wherever you are. There's different ways you can word it. And I've started to see that pop up on some packaging, which I think is interesting, a concept. So, isn't that how Apple states? They say something like that. I actually got an Apple box right here. Um, I've seen. I actually, I feel like it might have been Stanley, um, but it could be Apple as well. This is an older Apple product, but uh, no, it does say designed by Apple in California, assembled in China. I've seen. I want to say it was Stanley Cups. It was something like that, where it was like ethically sourced or creatively designed in the United States, ethically sourced in China. Can't remember what product that was, but just different ways to differentiate yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, does it make that big of a difference? Probably not. But like I said, you can get really well made products. Interesting note, I was actually looking at a type of product where the average sales price on Amazon is like, oh, $90 to I think like 120, 130. So it's a little bit higher priced item. And um, I was watching a YouTube video of a guy at a trade show, and the trade show is specific to the niche that I'm in. So I didn't even know the trade show was going on, but I said, maybe next year I should go there and check it out. Anyways, he interviewed a company who makes these type of products. I didn't even know this company existed. For some reason, they don't show up on Amazon when I search for this particular product. And it's really weird that they don't show up on Amazon. I just saw them on this YouTube channel, and they're like, "Yeah, our products are really uh, well made, they're high quality, and but they're not cheap. So I searched the brand on Amazon. Sure enough, they are on Amazon, but the same type of product that I saw on average going from like 90 to 120-ish dollars, their products start at like 200 and they go up to, I think, pushing $300, which is crazy to me for this type of product. But they sell really well, and they're known for their quality. Their manufacturers from China. Um, they have some of their uh, similar or identical products without their logo listed on their site. So you know it's the same bag, and it's really well made, but people, I guess, don't assume it's made in China just because how good the quality is. Um, and like I said, you can get really well made. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're sourcing products from a manufacturer, like they can make things really well if you want them to. And it doesn't have to just be more of a cost. Some people just don't ask or they don't think about it. They just see, I want this. Can you make it the cheapest, make it the quick as you can, not knowing that, okay, add a couple days or a couple cents and you can get something that is totally different in terms of quality for sure. Okay. Looks like Rakuten's been having a big sale, or not a big sale, big cashback day. I'm going to avoid the Nike sale that they're pushing. But there are some other sites on here that you can do well from. Lego 20%. Rack Room. Omaha Steaks. No, thank you. You'll get inundated with ads and calls. And they're not that great of steaks, to be honest with you. They're okay. Let's see. What's everyone doing over here? Cool, 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 cool. All right. And I think that's about most of the sites that I'd want to source from. Cody, Cody Flips FBA, what's up, man? Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, man. It's been a while since we talked last. Um, all right. Just doing some product research, so throw me any questions. Happy to try to answer them if I can. What's up? What's up, everyone? Glad you're here. Mhm. Okay. Let's go over to Alibaba and see what we can find. Cool. Also waiting on a message back from this one supplier who was supposed to get an inspection done last week, but I didn't realize that hadn't happened because there was a huge holiday. In China, Labor Day is like a week long, so we didn't uh, we didn't get much accomplished overseas last last week. But hopefully our inspection is going to get done. We have a photo shoot scheduled next week, so they need to ship by air a couple units to our photographer, get that set up. How do you make sure you stay in stock on your PL and arbitrage products? Private label is easier because we're buying 3 months of inventory minimum, at sometimes four at a time. So it's pretty easy to look at, what your average sales are, kind of chart that out to when you need to reorder. So the one product that um, we're waiting on this inspection for, I know roughly what we sell a day, and it really depends on how I price it. I can drop my price, a dollar fifty, $2, and we'll boost sales by probably 10, sometimes on a really good day, 15 units by dropping the price. If we maintain the current price, I know where we're selling at, and then if we need to raise it. So like this product, I know I right now I have roughly a month of stock, but because the holiday pushed back our shipment at least a week, week and a half, I know that here at the like beginning of June, I'm going to be running on fumes, but that new shipment should be about to arrive. So I'll raise my price like $5. It'll really slow down sales. Like I might only have 3 or 5 sales a day, but my profit will be really good. Arbitrage is just it's arbitrage. It's for me. It's more difficult because I'm not ordering as much inventory generally for most products. So if I want to restock it, um, you know, it's just harder to keep on. I can kind of keep track of it. It's easier the longer I sell stuff. I kind of know, okay, roughly this is what I'm getting per month, many units. But if it's like a one-off product and you want to restock, it's really hard to know how much to order without over ordering based on competition, because arbitrage products can be up and down if they get on a lead list, if they get shared in VA groups, which is a very real thing. So sometimes like lead list, people think it's tanking because of everyone on the lead list. Well, that lead list could have been shared. There might be a VA who's pulling double duty. There might be people who are subscribing to those lead lists who have their own lead list. So, and if someone says, it's limited to 10 subscribers, well, that 10 could be really 50 by the time it's all shared and everything. So it's just harder for me with arbitrage to know how to stay in stock. I do use Seller Board, which is a little helpful, but you got to weed through that information because there's products that I'll never buy again for the time, currently. And because I've liquidated or I've gotten out at a break even profit, loss, whatever, seller board's like, oh, you need to restock 300 of these units because you've sold so many. But you really got to weed through the data and look at the winners. Inventory Lab has one. I think it's called Insights. I think it's the name of it. And we actually tried Insights and Seller Board at the same time, our VAs and myself, just to see if one gave us better information. They both gave decent information, but it was a little bit different. And things that Inventory Lab were suggesting that we restock, Seller Board wasn't, and vice versa. Um, Seller Board gives you a little bit more information to look at to make the better decision than Insights does. So that's one of the reasons why I still use Seller Board for that. So, all right, can you tell me what should I price? My competition is 19.99 and 29.99, and my products a mixture of both in terms of product. Um, if you're just launching, um, I would look at the range of those. So like the 19.99 one, what what's the lowest price they ever uh, listed it at? If it's below 19.99 and you can list it for that and be close to profitable or barely profitable or close to your margins, do it at the launch, maybe for the first couple weeks, then You can slowly raise your price. You don't always have to start out with a low price, but it's one of those things that can help you because when you launch a product, a brand new product, you have no you have no information for Amazon to understand if your product's even good, if people even want it. You have no sales history, you have no reviews. So from a customer's perspective, why should I buy yours that has nothing as far as reviews, anything from a customer standpoint to maybe one that's more established. A lower price point can sometimes help a customer overcome those small questions. So, you know, like I said, maybe for a couple weeks if you want to launch at that lower price to help boost some of those sales, which is going to help boost your ranking. But you don't always have to do that. You could come to the market at the same competitive price. Just understand that you're starting out most likely not on page one. So you have to try to get to page one. And one of the levers you can pull is your price. Um, Advertising PPC is another lever you can pull to help boost some of those things. Get in front of eyeballs. Um, if you have brand registry, you can use Vine reviews to help gain a little bit of momentum. So price wise, you just have to think about what your margin is going to be. And really, the goal, like, at least for your first order, isn't always just going to be profitability. It really needs to be about boosting and pushing sales to help your organic ranking. Once you get to page one, once you get to the top of page one, put your price where you feel it's worth it. And now you have a little bit more data, maybe some positive customer reviews, maybe some information where if you sell 50 units or whatever more, that can start being displayed to customers. But when I'm looking at the ranges, I am going to look at what's the lowest anybody's ever sold it for out of you know 5 to 10 of my competitors, and then I'm going to make the decision: do I want to start out at that lowest price? Am I still profitable? Are my margins still healthy? Sometimes the answer is yes, right? Sometimes it's no. It's just going to depend on the product. And then usually, if people do launch at a lower price, you'll see it's not usually for very long, but it's one of those things that help them out of the gate, get some initial sales, get some initial reviews, get some momentum going for themselves. So 50% margin is pretty good um, at that price point. So, may not be bad idea to consider coming in a little bit. Um, and you can, raise your price accordingly. People will pay for quality as long as they can get social proof that it is quality, not just you saying it. What's up, everyone? Welcome in. Just throw any questions if you have. We are just doing I'm doing some product research right now. Seeing if I can find that winner. Still no messages from China. Check. See, starting to get evening time on the East Coast. Probably some busy traffic on the West Coast if you're in California. 500 units per month at that range for that product is a good sign. All right, everyone. Thanks for jumping on. I'm gonna bounce out here. I got a couple of things to take care of tonight, but I want to jump on and answer any questions if I could. So have a good night.